Great. Okay. I think we're just going to go ahead and begin. It's 7:35, and if somebody missed it, they're going to have to either be clueless or watch the video. I vote for watching the video. But so a couple things. I think most people on this call went last year, except for maybe Donna, right? And Ellen. But of just a few reminders. It is going to basically look the same. I'm hoping that everybody has received and is filling out surveys. Yes. Surveys are good because they populate spreadsheets, and that makes everybody's life much easier. A couple reminders. There's not much cell service up there. So that's one of the reasons why I do these meetings and put together these spreadsheets, so that when we get up there, it's not like at the last minute, like, oh, wait, what is this? Or what time is this? Or how are we doing this? Because it's hard to communicate once we get up there between the different houses. So Ellen and Donna, you're about a mile down the trail from where the hotel is and where Jess Moore's house is. So, people are in different places. We are going to go ahead and try to meet up the Friday at the Manor Hotel. Everybody is in a very good mood about us this year. It's been a lot easier communicating. I think we have a good reputation. We're solid. So last year it was like, oh, we can't reserve a table. And this year they're like, tell us how many people are coming. We'll set aside a table. So if you want to meet up on Friday night, let me know. That's in that survey that I sent, so that we can let the restaurant know. I am going to, and I've told Joe, I'm still talking about the itinerary. That's what topic I'm on, in case you're missing my lack of organization here. I've told Joe that we would like to get started a little bit earlier than we did last year. Scooter, I do not want to kiss you right now. Because last year it did take, Joe was late. It took a long time to load up bikes, and I felt like we got sort of a later start on the trail. I would like to get an earlier start. We are a smaller group. We had 44 people last year. Can you believe that? This year we are 28 right now. So it shouldn't take us as long to load up. And I'm going to encourage people to come between 7:45 and 8 so that we can just like roll out of there this time, and we're not sitting around waiting in a parking lot. So hopefully we're going to be a little bit on the earlier side this year. Most people, I assume, are going to do lunch at Tyadatin again, which is where we did a lunch last time. I think that worked out incredibly well. Sean, I need to talk, Sean Bourbon, I need to talk to your person or get gluten-free preferences from her, because she has a couple of choices to make. Sean, are you here? Okay.
No.
I will.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I was unmuted, thought I wasn't and couldn't find it.
That's cool.
Good.
So your gluten-free friend, I guess she's not here, right? So
No.
Joe gave me a couple of different options for her. You and I can communicate about that separately. He needs to know sort of like what to do.
Okay.
Joe is always eager to please. So, he does want to hear from us if we've got any preferences about anything. We're still a little fuzzy about the dinner location. And by that, I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail, but last year we had a permit for a park that took Joe and Shirley a lot to put together, and it was very difficult for them to get that permit because of the application process. This year, we talked to Tony's, the Creeks, it's a Creek House. The Creek House owner who owns that Airbnb, it was literally right next to where we were last fall. And could we just be there? And he got a little bit, non-committal about it. I don't think he has a problem with us being there, but he's a little bit worried about his next door neighbor. And so I think, Tony, we are just going to go ahead and do this, but nobody knows that we're doing it. You understand what I'm saying, right? Joe is going to go down there and check it out to see. His biggest concern is where he brings his barbecue. Okay. Which is big, I guess, and difficult to unload. But What this means for us is that anybody that is not staying in the Creek House should plan to use the restrooms at the park. Okay, there are restrooms there. It's a camping area. It's a rustic restroom, right? I didn't use it last year. Did anybody use the restroom last year? No one used the restroom last year. Guess we don't really need those restrooms then. So we will plan on you. If anybody needs the restroom who's not staying in the Creek House, we're going to use the state park restroom. And we're all going to try to bring chairs. And, you know, if you've got a portable piece of furniture or something like that, that would be great, because I don't know really like what the deal is with picnic furniture at the Creek House. And I also don't know exactly where we're going to be. So somewhere in the vicinity of between Creek House and where we were last year, we're going to be setting up. And I'm sorry for the fuzziness of this, but I think it's just the way it rolls.
I mean, the property of the park was literally adjacent to the Creek House property. So just think of parking in the same place, you know, going to the same place and just going, you know, going left a little bit, and you'll be right there. We'll probably set up. We almost might, if there's nobody there, I have a feeling we'll be setting up at the same exact place. But we'll be disguising as like we're basically at the Creek House.
Right. I think it'll be somewhere in no man's land between the two, because I think Joe is sensitive to the fact that just in case a park ranger came by, he doesn't want to be seen as flaunting, you know, their rules. Is flaunting a word? I don't think that's a word. I think I just made
Flaunting,
that up.
flaunting,
Flaunting the rules. I was
Yes.
like,
Flouting?
yeah, something like that. Anyway,
flaunting.
anyway, he does not want to be seen as, you know, having a problem with their rules. And so I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. I mean, anybody who was there last year could see there's no one there. It's just that we haven't been able to secure official permission yet, which means bringing our own chairs and tables. We do have Jay, did you have a question?
No, I was just going to say, you know, setting up for Joe could be really easy because in front of that house is a pretty large parking pad. So we just move cars out of the way. He could set up his barbecue there. It'll be much easier than it was by carrying all that stuff down.
So he would set up his cooking stuff in the parking pad?
Yeah, the whole front of the house is a bit, you know, we've probably fit 8 cars there. So we just move our cars out of his way. We should be great.
And you have places to put your cars, like out in the street?
Right
or
on the
something?
road. Yeah, right on the road there. So
Yeah, I mean, Tony, what do you think? Do you want to send a message to Joe suggesting him that? I think Joe's going to go down there this week and check it out.
I guess like the other thing was, it was nice getting the grill and everything kind of closer to the river. Like the parking pad is a ways away. You still got to walk a ways down to the river if you're doing that. I mean, it would work, but I think it would be fun. It would be nicer to kind of move closer to the river, but
Okay.
whatever's easiest for Joe.
Okay. We did talk tonight. Joe and I have long meetings. We continue to have long meetings. What would my life be like without having a meeting with Joe? We do have a rain date option. So he did find a place that is a covered picnic shelter. So even if it rains, it's 15 miles down the road. For those of you who remember Waterville, who passed through it, there is a park there and there is a shelter there. And we wouldn't, I mean, there's 3 shelters. So he's like, we're not going to need to reserve a shelter. If we just like go the day of, we'll be fine. So I'm feeling good about that. We don't know what the forecast is yet, but you know, I feel good that we have some kind of rain option. The other thing that we're doing this year that is a little bit different is a lot of people didn't want to do the next day long ride to Jersey Shore. So I put in that second pickup. So you can choose whether you want to be picked up at Jersey Shore, which is the whole shebang. If you're a trail completist and you want to do the whole thing, by all means, have somebody take your stuff to Jersey Shore. Don't forget to bring a second set of keys to your car, right? But if you just want to, if you think you want a shorter ride, I highly recommend eating in that fantastic restaurant in Waterville. What's the Waterville Waterville Family Restaurant? Anybody remember the name of it?
something like that. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it was a fun place to eat. I'm gonna I guess I'll take a little poll, and if there are a lot of people who want to eat there, we'll call and give them a heads up that we're coming. They were pretty thrilled to have us there last time, and they responded very well. I'm not saying that they were slow or anything like that, but it's always nice to give people a heads up. But some of us only went that extra 15 miles and got picked and sent our cars to Waterville. So, that's another option for you.
I think just to point out, I do think that there was a drop in participation on the Sunday ride last year because it was rainy.
That's true. It's true. It's true, though. Some people did go in the rain. Deb went in the rain. Deirdre went in the rain. Noreen went in the rain.
Noreen made it.
So yeah, whatever. It's totally an option. It's whatever works for you. If you go down to the Waterville restaurant and back, that's actually a longer ride. Like if you decide to go from Slate Run, go down to Waterville, eat lunch, and then go back, it's a longer run than going all the way to Jersey Shore because it's 30 miles versus 25 miles. So, whatever works. I believe that the prettiest part of the trail is the part that we do on Saturday. Then again, I did not go south of Waterville, so we should probably ask somebody else. Deb, what do you think?
There was a beautiful rooster in the forest. I don't know if anybody saw that last time, but there was.
It was
Remember
south
the art? The art in the forest or across the river or creek or whatever. Yeah, there was some interesting art.
Interesting.
I kind of remember I didn't make it down to the bottom at Jersey Shore last year, but I do remember like driving in, and when you first come into the trail area, the Pine Creek area from Jersey Shore, it was kind of breathtaking. So I was kind of hoping to see some of that. It granted, like definitely Wellsboro was spectacular, but I would love to see the bottom, just because it looked kind of enticing when we drove through it.
Yeah, it parallels the road the whole way or most of the way. That's the difference.
Okay.
Okay.
You go through more civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Another reminder, remember it could be very cold up there. It was cold last year. I'm sure you remember that. It's a week later. We're a week later, so it could be even a little bit colder. And what else? What else do we need to talk about? Am I forgetting anything, Tony? I mean, this was really
one thing. I want to make sure that when we talk to Joe about shuttling cars, like I'm gonna have a big trailer, that he's okay with that.
That is a very good question. No, Jess, don't tell me that.
Oh,
wow,
no.
good that you looked, but
That's sad.
that's so sad. They were so nice.
That's why they were happy to see us last year.
They were very
He said
happy to
business
see
wasn't
us.
great.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Better now than like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, there is that place. It's called McConnell's General Store. So the general store is right next to the Waterville Tavern, and they are like the general store in Slate Run. If you went inside the general store, what was that? Blacks? What was that called? It's in my spreadsheet. I have already forgotten. So there is a general store there that does sandwiches and stuff like that you could get.
There's also a Waterville hotel.
Isn't that in the same place though?
Yeah, maybe they just rebranded and changed their Google settings from tavern to hotel. So it looks like there's a hotel, and when you look at the picture of the hotel, it seems that there's people eating, so maybe it's not closed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I guess one of us should call and figure it out before we get up there, because they had really good pie. And I would like to know ahead of time whether there is really good pie waiting for me in mile 15 versus McConnell's General Store, which I don't think is going to have as good of a pie. Maybe.
Okay, the hotel is definitely open and you can definitely eat there. So maybe, but it looks like it's only, yeah, there we are, 11 to 9.
You're right. It looks like the same building.
Yeah, I think they just rebranded themselves in Google. And that's why the other listing says permanently closed. Crisis averted.
Yeah, it is the same building. I was looking at it. Same
Okay. Good pie back on.
Maybe they even have the same waitress. She was great.
She was really funny.
She was a
She was
hoot.
great. Okay, Tony, I gotta remember, you gotta remind me about that
I'll
asking.
I'll send you an email and
Okay.
you can forward that on to Joe.
Okay, cool. What else? Do we have anything that we need to talk about? I'm just, I send surveys,
Hillary, I
and
have
fill
a
them
question.
out. Yep,
I've got a question, Hillary.
yeah,
Hillary?
who is asking?
Hello?
Oh, David. Yes, hi, David.
David, yeah. Last year you had a site where everybody could put their pictures. And I wonder if you're going to have a new site this year. Because sometimes if you use the old site, it gets really overpopulated, you know?
What did we do last year? I do not remember.
Didn't we have a place where everybody put their pictures?
We did that on a Gap trip a couple of years back in 21. I don't know that we did the same thing last year here.
I saw some pictures though.
Oh,
I just like people posted their own pictures, and like Hillary and I both did a bunch of like gathering.
So it's just on
oh.
Facebook.
Yeah, I think like
Would that be possible? Because I like to see everybody.
Yeah, well, we have the Facebook group, and the Facebook group is a private group. It's only us in it. So,
Well, that's a good place.
Yeah, that's a good place. And some people don't like to be public for whatever reason, which is fine. So if everybody
Well,
is,
that's a good place.
yeah, okay, we can do that. So we will post on the Facebook group. Anybody who's got pictures they want to share, we'll post on the Facebook group. Jess, I can send the address. It is, and I will share the spreadsheet as soon as I go through the surveys that I sent out last weekend. I'm going to populate the spreadsheet with like prices of everybody's lunch, prices of dinner, and the Tony's house address is on the spreadsheet, but I can also share that separately. It's in the accommodation stuff, right? We do have extra, there is like a spare bedroom, Tony?
Yeah, it would be ideal for a couple, but if we, if anybody's interested at this point, I think it would be a shame to let, we have 2 slots. We might even be able to fit more people in than that, but we definitely have an open bedroom. We have people in our house that might be in larger areas, open areas, and if you didn't mind kind of rooming up with somebody, maybe somebody else could take that bedroom, and then we could open up other space in the house. But
Tony,
point
like
being is that we have extra slots at the Creek House.
So if you know anybody who wants to bike Pine Creek Trail, and everybody should want to bike Pine Creek Trail, let us know, and Tony can figure out the details. David, you had something you wanted to say?
No, I just wanted to tell Tony that last year I stayed on the sofa in the living room, and I really liked it. I don't mind it at all.
I am glad, David, that you like the sofa in the living room, because I don't think I would, but I'm glad you do. Okay, any other questions before we talk about Andrew's additional pet?
I do have a question. I mean, do we have reservations for Friday night and Saturday night?
For dinner, you mean, or for
lodging?
For lodging, you have reservations for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right, Tony?
If you want to stay, yeah.
Yeah, like we're basically paying for 3 nights at our place, Donna. So you can leave whenever you want. You can get there whenever you want. Ellen is coming up later Friday and leaving Sunday night. But a lot of us are staying through Sunday night into Monday.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
So I love the drive up. It's really beautiful to see it, like to drive up. I realize that I'm lucky in that I don't have a work commitment on Friday afternoon that I can leave at noon. But I really did like arriving and when there was still daylight. It is supposed to be a full moon week. So, there will be a little bit more light to see and to navigate and for our dinner. And our dinner might be a little bit later this year. The Saturday dinner might be a little bit later because, well, we don't have the state park guidelines now that we're not officially in the state park. And last time it was a little bit rushed to get off the trail and to get to dinner rush, rush, rush. So what else? I felt like there was one other thing that we needed to remind people of. Anything else? Hotel folks, the breakfast is a self-serve, but it's stocked in the refrigerator. So if you haven't stayed in the hotel and you're staying in the hotel for the first time, they do have various items to choose from. You know what, Sean? There aren't many. I mean, I guess there are some gluten-free options, but the gluten-free stuff in the breakfast might be a bit of an issue. There's oatmeal, but oatmeal's typically, that's not considered gluten-free, right?
I think I don't know. I'm not GF, so.
I think oatmeal is considered not gluten-free friendly if you're celiac. So
Like little breakfast wraps and stuff.
they had breakfast wraps, but they were in tortillas.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that's the majority of the breakfast stuff I remember.
Yeah, it was breakfast wraps and like I think they had cereals or something like that. And did they have hard-boiled eggs?
I don't remember.
They have a refrigerator, which you're welcome to bring and put your own food in. But right now, I am more confident of Joe's ability to cater to us and a gluten-free person than I am of the hotel. Does that make sense?
I did think the hotel did a good job Friday night when everybody ordered their own dinner. I really liked I don't know if it's the same group, but it was good food Friday night.
It is. They have good food.
Yeah.
Adult slushies too.
There you
Oh,
go.
I didn't partake of the adult slushies, but yes, they have a bar with beer and their own smoker.
What time were we planning on meeting up again on Friday night?
So I said 6. Is that a good time?
That's fine.
Tony, what's the move-in time for the house? 3? Or do we not know?
I don't know yet. I'll find that out.
So I guess the one more thing that I do want to talk about is the check-in information for people in the hotel. So last year they sent me the check-in information and I like turned around very quickly as I was headed out the door and sent people the codes for the front door and the codes for your room door. If you're staying in the hotel, you will get an email or a text, possibly from me or the hotel. I don't know yet. If they don't send it to me in enough time, I can't send it out because I didn't have great internet access last year. So, but make sure that you're checking your text and your email for information on how to get into your room, the codes that open the door.
And we did have internet access at the Creek House, right, guys? I kind of remember we were able to get in. Everything was okay there. I don't know how it was at the hotel, but we did have it at the Creek House.
We could not communicate with the people in the hotel.
Right.
Because we had internet. Actually, it was fine, but they did not. Yeah.
Right.
I just remember Jess coming over on Sunday morning and like showing up at breakfast because it was easier to show up at breakfast than it was to try to contact us in any other way. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'll just get to my car and drive down. So yeah, that is the reason that, we try to get everything sort of set ahead of time, and I will share the spreadsheets that have an itinerary and stuff in them. I guess there was one other thing that maybe y'all could help me make a decision on. Last year, we had a checkoff sheet, if you remember, that was at the Slate Run parking lot, and everybody was supposed to check off their names as they came in from the trail. This year, Sean and Matt have ordered like these kind of wristband things that you would get, like neon green wristbands, and people are gonna put them on their bikes so that Ted, who is our sweep, who rides at the back, will be able to see bikes like going up. If you drop your bike, if you park your bike and you want to hike up the Turkey Path, they will see. Ted will say, "Oh, that's a bike. I need to wait for that bike." Or if you go out to Rattlesnake Rock, maybe this year I'll be able to figure out where Rattlesnake Rock is and I'll finally get to go on it. You will see that. So if we have our bikes well marked, how do we feel about having this checkoff list? Thumbs
I guess
up, thumbs
it,
down.
well, you wouldn't see if we went straight to the creek house. I don't know that Ted would see us, right?
But he would not pass you is the point, right? So he's going to be behind you no matter what. But he's going to look at all the bikes and make sure that he doesn't pass anybody. I do think it's kind of stressful for him because like he's always like, oh, did you see this person? Am I the last one? I'm hoping to make it a little less stressful for him as we spread out.
What if a bear attacks us and drags us into the woods and he takes the bike into the woods with him?
If the bear takes the bike, your life is not worth living anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Or we fall into the creek and with our bike.
If you're dumb enough to take your bike with you on Rattlesnake Rock, doesn't matter anymore.
Hey, Tony, could you take your banjo with you then too?
Hey now.
So I guess the question is, how do we feel about that checkoff list? I am entertaining all suggestions.
I remember what they did the last day. They left it in their car, and all we did is when we got back to the hotel, we just basically checked the box in their car. It's certainly not difficult to do.
I mean, is there a reason not to do it? It seems like for peace of mind and for.
So it was difficult for some people to remember.
But I think it is like it would be helpful. I don't think it's like, you know, I still think it might be worth checking in, but I think it is helpful for Ted. So I'm
Okay.
for it.
We'll do it. So then everybody has to remember. Last year I said, if you don't remember to check off your name and we have to come hunt down, there's no pie. But last year we didn't have pie. So maybe this year we'll have pie. So everybody has to remember to check off their name off that list or they won't get Joe's homemade hand pie.
Why didn't we have pie last year?
Because Joe ran out of time. Like he was just, you know, he was making sandwiches and building bike carriers and building grills and
He
stuff.
seemed a
And there was
little
no
stressed.
pie.
He was a little stressed, but, all right.
Okay. Any other questions?
Is Joe gonna have a new puppy this year?
That puppy was amazing, but you know, maybe Andrew will not have as many spills.
Yeah, I didn't have the spill, but sure.
So no, I think the puppy is going to be an adult, and I think Daniel's gone, so we're not going to have Lentil around either.
Oh, Daniel, my friend Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel's awesome, but I think I guess we'll get a Daniel update when we go up there. I know that Joe's daughter Samantha, who does most of the cooking, and she's definitely coming up because she's been integral in menu planning and stuff. So, I think Joe's son also comes up. Joe's son was the one that had the puppy, right? Or maybe, I don't know. I don't know who had the puppy. Puppy will probably be an adult dog now. Yep. Okay, I don't mean to breeze over everything for new folks like Donna. Donna, did you have any questions? I haven't even shared anything with you, but I will share it, all the spreadsheet. If you have any questions, you can contact me. You can ask Tony.
I will
No,
say,
no problem. Yeah.
so Donna, I'm just gonna share this with you just to think about, because I know I don't know if you're working on Monday, but I stayed back because actually if you don't get done, it gets pretty dark. I felt uncomfortable on the roads after dark. So I left super early. I left at sunrise. So just so you're aware, since you weren't there last year, I don't know how anybody else feels, but I waited back basically because I didn't want to get stuck driving through those mountains at night.
Yeah, I have a 9 a.m. hearing
Okay, so
On Monday or on Friday?
Monday.
On Monday, okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, I did hear from people that arrived late on Friday night that, you know, I mean, you have to do what you have to do, but people were like, gee, I really wish I had gotten here early. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever you can manage to do. It is beautiful to drive in. It is dark. Maybe the full moon will be out, but it's hard to navigate. There aren't clear, I don't remember whether they're clear roadsides. You might not have access to your GPS system. So using your phone to navigate is not, you know, a done thing.
I know
So
it didn't.
If you do use GPS, you got to take like car directions as opposed to bike directions because you'll end up going over weird mountains and stuff.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
right?
I got something to throw out to everybody. It might not be appropriate for everybody, but when I bike, you know, in places where there's no signal from a carrier. I use something called Maps Me. It was developed for touring bicyclists. And if you download the area that we're going to be in, you can see everywhere you are. You don't have to have a carrier.
Google Maps will do that too if you download the map first.
So I guess
Well,
the
you
point
got-
is to be prepared. Like we
Right.
actually I had printed out instructions and carried them with us.
You are so
Right.
old-fashioned.
So I was just going to say, Maps Me, if you download it at home for the Slate Run area, then you're not without a map, even if your carrier doesn't work.
I mean, you can actually download maps in Google. You can do the same sort of thing in Google.
Yeah,
If you,
exactly.
I mean, the thing is, like, once we get dropped off, it's kind of a straight shot. You know, if you're getting lost, you're getting attacked by bears or something.
Well, she's talking
Right.
about
Oh, true.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
Sorry. To and from the place. Sorry.
I'm
sorry.
talking about driving there.
Right. Sorry. I got it wrong.
I might have sent out instructions via email. Like I think I sent out some instructions. I think I did to like Deb, to the folks that were in your little house and to the hotel. But I mean, it is a good idea to, not just mindlessly plug in where you're going, because you could lose that like 15 miles away, right? Yeah, Tony.
Turning into the house, you'll end up going to the hotel and having to turn around. That's what I think everybody did. The house is really hard to find, but if you hit the hotel, you just went a mile too far and you just turn around and make the first right and you're there. So
Yep. Tony, you had something to say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I was definitely like, kind of, I had a bad map experience. You can ask Jay and everybody. So.
Okay. So be forewarned.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Anything else to talk about?
So Hillary, Debbie's question about, does the spreadsheet show where everybody's staying? Is
So
that on
the spreadsheet shows the place that you're staying, like you're staying in the Creek House, you're staying in the hotel, you're staying in, where else are we staying? Is that all? No, Jess's house, which is the place with all the animal heads. What's it called, Jess? The animal head place.
I don't know. I don't know that it has
Bear Run. No, I think that was
something
Deb's.
like that. It's just a
Something
house
like that.
down the road.
Yeah, the house down the road. So it shows there, but then within the house itself, it's up to the folks. So Tony, I think, has a grand plan for who's staying where in Creek House. The hotel manor, you will get your hotel room and the codes for your hotel room from the hotel or from me on Friday morning, hopefully. And then Jess and her crew have figured out, they know where they're lodging and how that's working. Does that answer your question? Cool. There is one other poor guest staying in the hotel with our big group. We'll try to be nice to them. They're not part of our group.
Hillary, will you just send out the spreadsheet in an email? I wasn't sure where Deidre and I were staying.
You're staying at the hotel.
Oh, fantastic.
You
Okay.
and
we
Deidre
know
are
where
staying
that
in the
is.
hotel.
Okay, great.
And you do know where that is, right?
Yeah, and just so you guys know, we did get there in the dark and it is really dark up there. So we're gonna try get there a little earlier this time.
It'd be neat to see you at dinner too. I mean, we had fun at dinner, and then several of us had bottles of wine and dessert, and then went down and sat there along the creek and chatted. And it was so cold that we couldn't do it anymore.
Right. We had the slushies, right?
We did not have slushies. I forget what we had. I think we had something yummy that Abby made or something like that. Yeah.
What was the name of the hotel?
It is called the Hotel Manor.
And they have a liquor license? I can't remember. Or did we
They
bring our
do.
own? Okay.
They have a liquor license. I mean, we did bring wine last time, and we brought wine and beer for the barbecue, right?
I remember keeping that in our car.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We had the wine stash in the car and we walked back with our tumblers to refill from the car, right?
Yeah, because you can't have alcohol.
Can't have alcohol in the park.
Right. Although some of us had alcohol in the park, no one came and checked us out. Although apparently the reason that there was somebody that was scheduled to check us out last year and he just didn't come because there had some kind of crime happen somewhere. So he got pulled off and to investigate that. So we didn't have to investigate our red cups. But, you know, I definitely, after going up there, I'm a little less worried about having a bottle of wine that I take down to the creek, even though I'm staying at the hotel. But by all means, they also do have a bar. They have very limited hours, right? So Deb and Deirdre, if you were to come in at 8, the restaurant may not be open anymore because it is a small place with, you know, family run, all that stuff.
Nearest place will be 20 miles.
Well, the hotel does this thing where they have some kind of industrial something or another that keeps food warm. So if you were going to come in late, you can order something from them and they will keep it warm for you. And you would just go into the little breakfast area and help yourself to it.
I just like on the alcohol side for the Creek House folks, I feel like we did get some beer. We brought some beer last year, but we had a lot left over. We didn't really go through that much. I mean, Charlie or Jay, refresh my memory, but I don't think we did.
I don't drink. I can't refresh your memory.
I think John Ackerman had a bottle of whiskey. We mostly just drank that. We had a ton of beer left over.
Yeah. We drank a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Just bring in the coffee. That's all I care about. I'll bring coffee.
I mean, it's going to be largely the same group. So we do end up drinking a lot of, you know, alcohol this year.
Me and Donna. Because of me and Donna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? So I guess it would be nice because, you know, I'll look at my surveys and make sure that everybody has filled them out. But if you know somebody who was not here, that's cool. They don't, you know, I'm not taking attendance, but just maybe like ping them, text them and say, hey, you okay with the Pine Creek stuff? Because I don't want anybody to like forget, you know, like I know it's different now that we're no longer in a pandemic. People have busy lives and various obligations. But I also don't want anybody to like get up to the Pine Creek and think they're going to figure out what's going on without, you know, having cell service or something like that. So like Jess, everybody in their house is like probably looking at you for knowing what's going on. And I trust that you will educate everybody.
Yep.
Right. Tony, same thing. Tony, same thing for your house. And I will, you know, send stuff out to the hotel people, but I will share our spreadsheet that has our accounting information, our lodging information, itinerary. It's got a spreadsheet for different food stops so that you can look in advance. You know, where is the ice cream shop? You know, where does this happen? Where does this happen? Reminder that there isn't much between the point that we start until we get to Darling Run, which is like a good, 15 miles? So that first 15 miles, there isn't much. So even that Pag Omar, which was the Amish farmers market that is at the beginning, like they didn't really even have coffee last year. They were kind of sketchy. So good idea to pack snacks, pack water, pack toilet paper if you need it. That first 15 miles is kind of remote. And then once we get out of that first 15 miles, it's comfort stations, right? Which are nice versions of port potties. Okay. Anything we're forgetting? Bring your rain gear.
Hopefully we won't need it.
Hopefully we won't need it. But hey, we went in the rain last year and it was kind of beautiful, I thought.
Hillary, thanks again for all this, especially being down on your own a little bit. So
sometimes, you know, you're injured, you got nothing else to do but put together Google Forms. Okay, I'm looking forward to this, guys. I'm really excited. It's beautiful up there and I can't wait to be there.
And 28's a nice number. It was a little insane last time with 44.
Yeah, it was a little insane. Maybe we can get a chance to talk a little bit more, you know, have some more conversations with people. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night, all.
Look forward to seeing everybody.
Thank you.
Night.
Good night.
All right.